morning, everyone. It's actually almost afternoon. She is Acacia Clement. I'm Andy Serling, and we were talking the way up. Acacia is barred from doing the show on Saturdays because her record of being off the turf, it's really impressive.
It's amazing. So my day for talking horses in Saratoga was Wednesday, and I said it was a perfect storm because you had me on talking horses, and you had the poor steeplechase field.
You're a
And
jinx to the jump racers. You really
it
are.
rained like every Wednesday. I think I had 1 week in Saratoga.
There was one towards the end.
That I actually was able to do turf racing on talking horses.
So you're not allowed on Saturdays.
Yeah.
But apparently Friday's okay. Anyway, it looks like we're not getting nearly as much rain as they thought, which is a good thing, but enough rain obviously to knock us off, unfortunately, today. I'm hoping that we can, that fourth race in particular felt like kind of a prep for the Wonder again.
Yeah.
And not going to be able to run that, unfortunately, with the weather. Anyhow, head over to Naira Bets. If you're not a member, use the promo code MATCH200. We'll match them at $200, excuse me, of your initial deposit. We have pick six carryover, 22,381. Starts in race 4 of our 9-race card today. We have the Saturday contest. You have until post time tomorrow, $300 buy-in. All sorts of prizes. Check it out over at NairaBets.com/contest. The only way you can play is through Naira Bets. A lot of fun. Check those out. We have a show. We're on from 2 to 2:30 and then 3 to 5:30. I don't quite understand that. What's going on from 2:30 to 3? Do we know?
I don't know.
I'm sure something that will make things difficult. But anyhow, that's today's show. And Maggie will be in the paddock, and you'll be on the desk with Greg and I. So it'll be a lot of fun. We did that yesterday as well. Race number 1. It's really a question, and we'll start out with the horse that you have on top, Mula Candy. 2 questions. How you feel about firsters, and how comfortable you are this horse can run back to her debut.
I know. She was 36-1 that day.
Great.
She ran huge. She wasn't the quickest out of the gate, so hopefully she breaks sharper second time out, especially being breaking from the rail. And she got run down late by a 3 to 5 shot in Limes Don't Lie. But I thought the way that the race played out, she was chasing. She took over the lead. For a first-time starter, that was a big price. She ran exceptionally well. So we'll see if she can run back to that. Obviously, that's a question. But I did like to see that Flavien Prat ended up here. And a horse that I was just encouraged by that first start.
I'm not going to argue with her. I don't trust her to come back and run it, but she ran great last time. I agree. And as we look at Cheryl's Delight last time, Cheryl's Delight, this is just such a weird PP line, right? 6 furlongs, 9 furlongs, now back to 6 furlongs.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I have a frog in my throat. She just doesn't win.
Yeah, but she runs well no matter what distance she's going. I mean, she finished a distant second, yes, but she finished second 2 starts back when sprinting. She finished second going 7 furlongs. She ran exceptionally well going the 9 furlongs last time out. She was by Tonalist. You would actually guess with her pedigree that longer would be better, but she's a horse that's 0 for 14 with the 5 seconds, and so she's just hard to
She's
trust.
hard to put on top in there, and Tonalist, he could do anything. I mean, he was an amazing horse with 4 Grade 1 wins between them at a mile, 2 at a mile, 1 at a mile, 2 at a mile and a quarter, and of course the Belmont.
Yeah.
Not too many horses anymore that are going to win Grade 1s at a mile and a mile and a half. Takes a particular set of circumstances. Conquistador Cielo probably was the only one prior to that necessarily had done that, and we used to have them in olden days. I pick first-time starters, I guess. I'm not surprised. You're seeing an enormous amount of money right now for Numbered, the firster for Todd Pletcher and Mike Rapoli. I don't know anything about this one. The Dam was pretty good. Her full production have just been mediocre, right? One was okay.
Yeah, one was a decent turf horse. The other one won once sprinting on the dirt, but in a $5,000 claim.
I went with the other firster for Linda Rice. It is a complete and total guess on my part. The horse is a half to taxed. I don't know. I just thought maybe Linda would have a live firster. This is an absolute guess, and I didn't want to put the Pletcher one on top, who I figured would be a reasonably short price and probably the one.
This does have the biggest pedigree. Typically, like to see the horses from the barn have a start, but there certainly is the best pedigree on the bottom side in this race.
She can win with first-time starters, but in general, you're right. In general, they usually need a start. We'll see if that's the case in today's first race number 2. We'll start with the horse you have on top, and that's Trade Secret. We'll take a look at her last race, and go ahead.
Wired the field last time out. I am curious to see with the rain that we had how the track will be playing, because the last several racing days we've had a serious speed track where you really want to be on the front end, and I'm wondering if the rain will kind of dissipate that a little bit. That being said, I know It Takes Heart is stretching out from the inside, but I don't think Trade Secrets need the lead type, and I think she's better staying going a little bit longer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's an absolute, and I know that you're saying it, necessity to have the lead, though, frankly, it seems to have mattered a great deal. Horses are just not making up
Right.
ground.
No.
And the interesting thing was that when it rained at the end of the card on Sunday, they waited, it was great, it waited exactly until after the
It was
bow gate
perfect
was run.
timing.
It was amazing, right? It really was. It was one of the few breaks we've gotten. You know, you got to remember that.
It's because I wasn't on Talking Horses. that
Right,
day.
exactly, right. Thankfully, we made it through, but the track remained really speedy. Now, they were logical results, but it still felt, it's not just speed, it's that you're just not seeing horses make movements from the back.
Not make up any ground.
Right.
There's not much movement throughout the running of the race.
And I think the 1 and 2 will be the two forward horses. I took Floge, and I'm gonna, I took the horse on the trainer switch to Brad Cox. We're just seeing this move work, and I know the horse is a short price, but I'll be honest, I just don't want to really fight that. And I didn't love anybody else. Raw Power was a strange claim by Rick
Yes.
Dutrow, wasn't it?
Yes.
I thought, why would he claim this horse?
Very interesting. For 10,000, comes right back for 10 as well. I mean, this is a horse with no speed either. Manny Franco rode him last time and rode her last time, tried to get her forward, and she just did not show any early foot.
And that's the problem with
Yeah.
her. I agree. I do think it's interesting, and that's why I put her second, that Rick would claim this horse. We'll see what we get out of her in race number 2. Race number 3. Race number 3. Well, one thing I know about race number 3, none of us are going to pick the number 2 Very Satisfactory, who isn't even the favorite in the morning line. David, you're confident of this? This horse, I'm not sure this horse wouldn't be the favorite if she was running in the Ruffian this weekend. I could not believe that they made this horse another odds-on favorite last time.
She gets bet every time, and she runs the same race and
Loses.
She doesn't win. I know. It's amazing.
Not too many horses that you'll see that have lost 3 straight races at odds on.
I know. And I know that it's first off the claim for Linda Rice, but she's claimed her off of Brad Cox, claimed him off of Brad Cox, which lately they seem to be claiming off of each other, which is kind of funny. But I mean, he couldn't get this horse to win at short prices.
I could never. The question for me is this horse going to be picked second or third and put them around them. You put the first time star as Spirit Dragon.
Yes, I have no idea if this horse has any ability at all. Debuts for 20,000, but there is not much to really feel warm and fuzzy about anybody in this field. And so out of an unraced mare, both siblings, one sprinting on the dirt. Give this one a little bit of a try. Just hope Ricardo Santana, who we saw with some heads-up rides after shipping his track
rider.
here to New York, puts this horse in the game, and we'll see if the first
I'm
is
glad
ready.
to have him riding here. I really am. He's an aggressive rider. He's a good rider, and I think he and PJ Campbell are going to do very, very well together. When Ricardo's on his game, he's a very, very good, a very strong rider as well. You don't see a lot of more spirits, do you?
No, you don't see a lot.
Yeah, no. I went to the 7, who David has the favorite. Whether or not he'll be the favorite, he probably should be. I don't know. I mean, I know he's kind of moto, but I mean, he ran in a killer field, relatively speaking. Unfortunately, Accelerise was a first-time starter for Pletcher and Rapoli. Has not come back since then, and he was very impressive. I think he got a 90-plus buyer that day. Seems like a decent enough field, and in this field, he's just the obvious other horse because I didn't want John the Baptist. I get it. I know. The other thing is, I don't think he's going to be 6-1 in here because they're going to see his speed figures are fast, if not faster, and the betting public doesn't really differentiate a lot of time with these horses, turf and dirt. And it's not as though he has a pedigree that's, I mean, you got a European dam side and more than ready. I could win.
The pedigree is all turf. I mean, he started even with Chad Brown on the turf, I mean, he's been on the turf his whole career. I don't know. I felt like you kind of had to put him in there for 4th, but he's not for me.
Yeah, I mean, if he were 6-1, I'd understand it. I'm highly skeptical that he's going to be much above 7-2 or 4-1, but we'll see. Because there just really aren't that many options here. And if people are finally at some point going to get tired of betting on Very Satisfactory, maybe he's going to be the price that he probably should be. Race number 4, unfortunately, came off the turf. There were a lot of fun horses in here.
I was so looking forward to this
I know. Turn of Lavender Disaster. Obescent ran really well. What is it? Obéissant? What does it mean?
It means obedient, which is
Makes
funny
sense.
because the half sister was ambitious, which is ambitious.
Oh.
like the opposite. Yeah.
There was a store, I was walking around the Upper West Side with my brother the other day, and there's a milfoil store. That's a Napoleon,
Milfoil,
right?
yeah.
Means it was the horse. Remember, there was
Yeah.
the Juddmonte horse,
Yeah,
the
the
Mott
Belmont
had,
had,
right?
yeah.
So
It's delicious, by the way.
Napoleons? Yes, I'm a big fan of Napoleons. Just a little question about that. Let's take a look at Cat Chat, who's probably the horse to beat. The one thing that worries me about this horse is her lack of speed.
Oh, I agree. She was totally outfooted last time out. She was very far
But
back.
they were moving up
They
front.
were moving up front, and she was finishing with the best momentum and really finished quite well in there. She's the half sister to Steel Sunshine, who is a graded stakes winner going along in the dirt down in South Florida. She beat Palm Desert, who came back with a 71 buyer speed figure next time out.
And you know, the race before it, Shred the Gnar. For people not familiar with Shred the Gnar, she won her non-winners of one out of that race with a 94
she's
buyer
impressive.
and got a bigger figure than the Kentucky Oaks did. I'm not saying, but I really hope she runs in the Acorn.
I agree.
Love to see her hook up with the winner of the Oaks. She could be a good one for Brian Lynch. Donor Advised, by the way, we watched that replay beating the six in the day's first race, beating Cheryl's Delight. I'd asked Chad about her because she looked so good out of that race, and I know she won, but she was a little disappointing. And he said she kind of grabbed herself pretty badly and came back with her foot kind of a little beaten up. So he said he thought that's why she didn't run as well as expected.
Sense.
I just, I went to Serendipity. We'll take a look at her, not because I happen to like the movie, which I like Kate Beckinsale. I turn the sound down and just look at Kate, whatever movie she's in.
I'm sure you're
But
not alone in that.
you ever see Cold Comfort Farm, which is one of her first
No.
movies?
No, I didn't.
Oh, Cold Comfort Farm is great. Trust me.
Okay.
Great movie. Yes, really fun. Really, really fun movie. I do like the book because it has the only thing I like about the movie is that it uses Love in the Time of Cholera. But anyway, I just thought this horse was supposed to be the speed.
Yeah.
And if you look at the pedigree, there's enough dirt in the pedigree,
Yeah.
and I just took her because I thought she'd be in
Second dam won
front.
the Comley. I mean, there's plenty
Yeah.
of pedigree to suggest she should handle the main track.
Yeah, so I just put this one as the other one in the race, and they're the two I would use in here. See what happens in race number 4, unfortunately, off the turf. Race number 5, take a look at Lady Arwen, 2 races back, and I'm going to cop out as you are with Antonio Arriaga because it's just every horse he's been running has been running well.
I'm riding the train. Yeah, this horse he claimed 2 starts back, ran against way tougher last time in New York, bred first level allowance, stepped back down to around the level at which he claimed her, and she just makes a lot of sense in here. This is the spot where she belongs.
I completely agree with that. Now, I mean, the problem is, of course, she has absolutely no speed.
No, she doesn't.
Now,
She's a grinder. Yeah.
there is no speed in this race. I have to imagine that Manny will be aggressive with Karen's Honor. Maybe you'll see She's a Bernardini as a forward horse in this race. She's a Bernardini's a funny horse, right? She's got that one race 2 back at 48-1. The rest of her races are too slow.
Where did it
Funny
come
claim by Michelle Nevin last time.
I know. I looked at this horse for such a long time.
Me
So I was
too.
like, is there something I'm supposed to be seeing here, with all of this? And I just couldn't make it.
The one thing I'll say is if the horse is forward, the horse is dangerous. And picking up Kendrick, she could be dangerous in here. I actually had flirted with putting her on top in this race. I ended up going against her because I just don't know if she's really good enough.
I know.
You've got Despo's Dream second. I'm not sure what to do with her, but she's run good figures in her 2 races.
She has, and I think that as you sift through, she largely has been running against a bit saltier company. I thought that this was the proper level, and she was a horse that has, I thought, a good win 2 starts back. I know it was the non-winners of 2, but it was an aggressive drop by Linda. She was claimed and kind of stepped back up. She faced Miss Lau, who was really kind of the horse to beat.
Right.
In there,
I mean, she was
and,
not. She makes the race not a 30 claimer. because
Exactly.
She's not
Exactly. So it was. That's what I'm saying is I think it was a bit better than it looks on paper.
I don't disagree with any of that. Michelle Nevin's got very good numbers, by the way, off the claim in dirt sprints. I mean, she's 6 for 27 with a 311 ROI. There's a $20 horse in there, but still. I've got the 4 Dolce Sarah second. I just have a thing for her at 2 for
She ran
44.
really well 2 starts back when chasing Daylight Wire.
Eddie DeLuro's on a big run this year.
I
He won a
know.
race yesterday, I think. I think he's got
Yeah.
5 wins in less
I
than
know.
30 starts.
I know.
Eddie's horses have been running, and she picks up Joelle, and I love Joelle, so we'll see what happens with her. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with the late pick 4.
Horse racing? Check. Weekly promotions? Got 'em. Huge payouts? You bet. With Naira Bets. Download the app today and bet on any track, anywhere, anytime with live HD horse races, betting tips and tutorials, expert picks, and more. You bet with Naira Bets. Join now for a new member bonus at NairaBets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Acacia Clement and Andy Serling. Race number 6 off the turf, and there really isn't a whole lot to say about this race. You're sort of either taking this horse, Majestic Return, who I tried last time. I thought she ran well in there. She just ran into the new improved Caress, who dueled her into the ground. Well, I don't know who's going to really run with her here. I guess Sarir will probably go at her from the outside, but it's sort of either the Linda Entry or this horse, and I don't know what to say.
Nope.
It's going to be a short price. And
I'm
when
right
she's good,
with
she's
you.
good, this one.
I'm right with you. Yeah, Majestic Return certainly has back races. I mean, she's a horse too. She's making the 3rd start off of her layoff. I thought last time out to the lead, had pressure. Like you said, Caress was very good that day, surprisingly. And, I just think that she's one Kendrick will be aggressive with. I thought the entry was fine. I put 1/1A, I guess, because the 1A Sarir was a main track only. You give a slight nod to her, but kind of has a similar look to the entry mate as well. With
She
the
just has a
1.
little more speed.
She has a little bit more speed, I agree, but both of them have races that are fast
for
enough,
sure.
whatever.
Yeah, no, the entry's dangerous. I wonder, the entry could be favored in this race, couldn't they?
Yeah.
With 2 for the price of 1,
Yep.
and the fact that they're both
And they're both
competitive
kind
here.
of dirt horses.
And it's not like Majestic Returns PPs are that exciting. I
Right.
think that she's a little better than it looks, but
Right.
she's not running particularly fast races, but I think today is her day to get the lead. But she's got to beat Linda's Entry. Race number 7, I had picked Masker Parade, who decided not to play. And you're going to try to wire the field with Certified Lover Boy at a
Yep.
mile and 3/16.
Yes.
I'm a little bit worried about the distance.
I am worried about the distance too. It was a speed play. I mean, you have him second.
No, I'm not
it was-
against him.
it
I just
was-
worry about the distance.
It was a speed play. I agree. I have always thought that physically, every time he's run a mile and an eighth, I've written down I don't mind the distance. I don't know if he can extend that all the way out to the mile and 3/16, but I'm hoping from the inside, Loving Prep puts him on the front end and he's able to wire.
I just feel as though Certified Lover Boy should always have been trained by Ray, don't you? Didn't Ray originally have this horse,
He
right?
did originally
And I
have
think
him.
there's just something wrong
Yeah.
about Ray not having Certified
Yeah.
Lover Boy.
He
know,
always
it's
said it
just-
was named after him.
Yeah, I feel as though
Yeah.
it was in a mocking manner, of course. But yeah, I'm scared of him. And listen, once again, I've copped out with a Brad Cox horse. And part of the problem I had, and I picked Masker Parade, is I don't trust Good Skate. I just
I
don't
don't
think
trust
he's
him
the horse
either.
that
I
he's
know,
been.
I
He has
know.
run well in wet tracks, to be fair, and he may be a little more dangerous. Jordan had another winner yesterday. Jackson Heights is just too slow for me. And I know, I was talking with David Aragona, who likes Michael Licious, and we were talking about it. I'm not sure. I mean, I know the horse has been running very well for Carlos. I'm not excited about taking horses taken away from Mike Maker.
No, I completely agree with that. The reason I had him in second is that he does have a win at the mile and 3/16. Now, he does not have any speed. He'll be coming from off of it.
That's
But
the
I
other
thought
thing.
last time out, coming out of that same race with Chileno, where Pirate wired the field, Michael Licious was off a bit slow. Chileno was in a chasing spot. And Michael Licious, who got a little bit keen early on, and he never really looked settled going a mile and an eighth, and then did actually make up a little bit of ground late and picking up Ricardo. I thought he could potentially have a chance to turn the table.
Yeah, no, I don't think he's impossible in here, and I respect the opinion. I'm not really sure exactly what to do with him.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens in race number 7. Race number 8, unfortunately, also off the turf. At least we have a few runners in this race, and I thought we'd start by showing the Chad Brown horse, Malarchuk. You know, I'm. By the way, there's only 4 in here now. I thought there were 5.
I think there's
There are
what,
5.
one,
There are 5. Isn't the 2 still in here?
2,
Equi-
3, 4. The two and 3 are out. Yeah.
Oh,
so
the
there's
2
only
is out
4.
now.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that he was out. I'm just not confident on how good this horse
I
really
agree.
is. That's
I
my
agree.
worry with him. I think he ran badly last time. He's probably the horse to beat. But I thought with the Chad Brown factor and this horse, I thought he was kind of had the look of a bit of an underlay. And
I get
obviously
it.
the race has changed. It's only a 4-horse field now, and the horse I picked is a little bit dubious, to be honest.
I know. I looked at Thrill of It for a really long time because I saw him at Tampa back in January when he was in that race, first race back for Nutella Fella, and he on paper looked like the logical alternative, and he just really did not look fit off the layoff. Just really looked like he needed a race, and then he just didn't really step forward out of that.
He was terrible down there.
Yeah.
And there's obviously
Surprising.
a significant chance that he just can't run
Yeah.
anymore.
That's what
s-
worried me.
I agree with that. Having said that, this is a horse that has back races
Yeah,
and plenty of them
absolutely.
that can win this race.
Absolutely.
He's not going to be favored. And I thought, why don't I take a little shot? He's a horse I've done well with in the past. And I don't really like Colomillo. I guess he's going to be forward in this race. He's probably the main speed in this race,
Yep.
which helps him. And maybe he's going to wire the field, and maybe you should look at it that way. I'm not really sold on him. I didn't realize the other horses were coming out, and I thought maybe a horse like the 2. He was a late. Was the 2? A
No,
late
the
scratch?
3 was the late
I know the
scratch.
3 was. I
Yeah.
didn't see the 2 as scratch
Yeah.
early.
I
Okay,
know. I
missed that.
was intrigued by him in the
Yeah, I
here
thought he
too.
was a
I
little
agree.
interesting. I'm going to try to wake him up and get him to run a good race. Well, the interesting horse in here is Noted.
Yep.
And I figured that Todd would leave him in. He's running him for a tag. His form has been kind of mediocre, and it's kind of amazing.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if people
As
are
a
aware of
2-year-old.
this. He's not only winning this race, his first dirt race in the Sapling, he beat Dornock. So, and I know that Dornock, but
To be
Dornock was
fair,
highly.
he was not the best 2-year-old Dornick. He was a far better 3-year-old.
Well, but he did win the Remsen
He
in a
did,
subsequent start.
absolutely,
He
he
was
did.
he was highly touted from. I mean,
from
obviously
the
with the
beginning,
pedigree, the
yeah.
Mage pedigree, and everything. And he's sort of an interesting wise guy horse. The
Yeah.
problem I have with him is, I just don't know if he's that good
He
anymore.
hasn't done any
ever that
running in his
good.
recent races. I
But his
know.
only other dirt race was the Breeders' Cup Juvenile behind Fierceness, where
Yeah.
he had 0 chance.
Yep.
And so, I mean, he's a wild card in here. He doesn't have much speed, but something tells me that Irad's going to find a way to get him a little bit closer
Yeah.
today. And in a small field, how far back can he be?
You know, it's interesting because he ran in that Breeders' Cup Juvenile where Fierceness and Locked were also in there. And I remember watching the race, and I think I was talking to Richard Migliori and saying, it's kind of weird that Irad is on Noted instead of Locked. And I think it was Richie saying, like, oh, Irad's always really liked this horse.
I bet you he wished he was riding the other horse.
I know.
At some point during
But
the course of the race.
I mean, obviously, like, this horse had some ability, you know, at the start
I
of
agree.
his
He's
career.
just never gone on with
He
it.
never went on.
I mean, he's
yeah,
basically
he never
fallen
went on.
apart since winning the pulpit
I
last year.
know.
Just completely fallen apart.
know.
And it's unusual to see a horse like this for Todd that's just, he's not running
Hasn't
at
been
all.
able to
He's
hold
just
his
not
form
running
at
at all.
all.
But maybe to switch back to the dirt because
Yeah.
he did clearly. I mean, he ran a 79 Buyers, a 2-year-old going a mile. And he's a little dangerous here. I'm just not sure if he's really got much competitive spirit left. Well, then we get to race number 9. Some horses came out of this race that weren't you surprised? Like, I thought Amelia Green might run the complexity. I mean, she's running a horse.
Me too.
The sire is 1 for 48 with turf horses.
I know.
It's
I
not like
was a
the
bit
Dam was a
surprised.
big turf horse.
I know.
I thought that horse would stay in for
I thought
sure.
so too. I thought so
Must
too.
really not be able to stand up on the dirt.
I guess so.
And there's just, I mean, I'm sorry, there's just so little going on
There
in
really
here.
is.
And I mean, the 9 and 10, it's just, if one of these 2 horses doesn't win, I mean, this is one where favorites could win and nobody else should be covering the pick 6, but the 9 and 10. I'm being slightly exaggerating, but I don't know. And the problem with Long-Legged Queen is, I wonder if she's lost her good form.
Yeah, I just really think she's better on turf as well.
She is.
Where she obviously can handle the dirt, and I'm sure you know it's been a bit frustrating for Jolie. Is she?
She's
you
been
know,
rained off a few times.
Yeah,
lately,
yeah.
Second
But
time this year.
Truly Magic has just run the faster races and just kind of
Yeah.
couldn't see past her.
I guess the one thing the 10 may have over her is more speed.
Yes, agreed.
And potentially the 10 could be absolutely loose in this race.
Mm-hmm.
And that could compromise. And it's up to Eric, and I think Eric's aware of that, as is George Weaver, to get her more in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And she has a race who's closer, but the 10 could have a real tactical advantage on her. But the
agree.
10 also could get bet too much because of her turf form,
I
and I think
know.
the 9's a much better dirt horse.
I agree.
Anything else? All right.
I just really hope I get to talk about some turf races next week.
I think it looks good. I think it
I
looks
think it looks
promising.
pretty
A
good.
little dicey earlier in the week, but I'm hopeful as well. We don't like to lose turf races.
No.
Head over to Naira Bets. No better time than the present. Use the promo code MATCH200 and we'll match the $200 of your initial deposit. We have 22,381 in the carryover. Race number 4. Let's quickly go over this, Acacia. What are we doing in here? What are we doing in the picks? Where are the opportunities? Race 4. I guess they'll use the 2, 4, and 8. They'll probably bet all of them. Is there any? Who are the weird horses to get in this pick 6? There really aren't too many opportunities, are there?
Let's see.
They're small fields. There's really not much you
know.
can do off the turf.
I know.
Not a lot going on. Maybe noted.
Yeah.
We have a contest.
Or if
Yep.
you have an opinion in the mile and 3/16 race.
Right. If you can, a horse like the 6, Michael Licious, could break it open a
Yep.
little bit. Go to NairaBets.com/contest. More information. You have until post time tomorrow. $300 entry fee to play. You must play through Naira Bets. A lot of fun. Check it out. Only positive things I hear from people who play. And we also have 2 to 2:30 and then 3 to 5:30. And it'll be Greg and Acacia and myself on the desk, and Maggie will be in the paddock. Hopefully there won't be much rain.
It'll be great.
We're done. All right. Chris Griffin's up next. Reprise, scratch, and changes. Have a great day.
Horse racing? Check. Weekly promotions? Got 'em. Huge payouts? You bet. With Naira Bets. Download the app today and bet on any track, anywhere, anytime with live HD horse races, betting tips and tutorials, expert picks, and more. You bet with Naira Bets. Join now for a new member bonus at NairaBets.com.